If you're an e-commerce brand founder and you have no issues selling to people in person, whether that's, at market stalls or, site activations, whatever it might be, but you really can't sell online, then you need to listen to this. So my name's Will DeBrew and I co-founded e-commerce business in 2013 with my brother. We left our corporate jobs, started an e-commerce business from the kitchen bench, and that business has since gone on to multiple seven figures per year. And I've also helped over 250 e-commerce brands hit record revenue months as well. And this is a conversation that comes up all the time. People that join my paid program, my Ecom Blueprint Nut Level Mastermind. And so I want to share it with you because it's really, really important to understand. So I have so many people that say like they can sell in-line, they go to markets, they do stalls. Whenever they speak with people in person, they can sell their products 9.5 times out of 10. All right. But then they have an issue when it comes to the online space. So they're really scratching their head with, well, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my product? This is super normal. All right. And I want to kind of explain it in a way that you'll hopefully understand and then give you obviously some practical things about what you need to do if you're in this position. And it's really common, as I said. So let's just talk about the circumstance of being in person. Let's talk about a market stall, for example. So when someone comes to a market, firstly, they're a pretty captured audience in the beginning, right? They're the market, they're for whatever reason. And then the second step is that they come and approach you at your store. So obviously they've shown an interest. They've seen you, let's call it a pet product or something like that. They've come over to you. So they've almost like qualified themselves as, in this case, like a pet owner that is interested in your products. Now, what they're able to do is browse around, have a bit of a look around, and again, they can sort of contextualize or understand quite immediately how it can fit in with their everyday lives, right? That's just kind of what's going through their mind as they're browsing through your product. Then what happens, possibly, is that they are able to have a conversation with you. They're able to talk to you. They're able to ask questions. But even before they open their mouth or you open your mouth, there's body language. They're able to read you. They're able to make eye contact. They're able to give you a smile. There's immediate rapport there. And then the conversation begins, and it could actually start off as something polite, like how's your day going or something like that. And there's this immediate connection or relationship, just human to human. And so that already is a step up on, let's call it the equivalent of walking or browsing in someone's online store. Okay, so there's already a big difference there. Then you start to talk to them, right, about the product. Okay, and they can ask questions. You can ask them about their pet. They can talk to you about what their requirements are. So they're actually having a conversation and again, qualifying or working their way down the funnel. Right. And so you can actually start to say, okay, what about this product over here, or this product over here, or this works best here, or this has got this feature here. You can proactively sell them, which is why it's so effective. They've come to you as a qualified prospect into your store, then they've built a relationship with you, eye contact, body language, conversation, and then they've been able to almost sell themselves or qualify and disqualify what products are actually available, right? So there's huge advantages to being in person, because you can, all those things, and we can sell 9.5 times out of 10. We were the same with our own cold pressed juice stalls, doing site activations and other stalls that we actually did for a short period of time in the beginning of starting our business, okay? Now, when it comes to online, imagine this. If somebody comes to your site from a marketing stimulus, like let's call it an ad, all right? If they click on your ad, it's the equivalent of them seeing your stall and kind of walking over to find out a little bit more, right? Makes sense, okay? So they've kind of qualified them. They're a dog owner in this case. They're not going to click on the ad or want to go to your site if they're not a dog owner, okay? Then they go to your store. Now, where they land is going to be really important, okay? Do they walk into the dog bowls section or the collars section, right? It's actually going to depend on what that marketing stimulus had prompted them to click on. Okay, then they go to that product or they go to the homepage or think about this customer journey that you've currently got. Okay, now the major difference is they walk in and there's no relationship being able to build. This is like a skeptical, let's call it borderline ruthless website visitor coming to your site that has no care in the world for you as a human being or your business at all. Okay, now you can see already there's like a drift of the type of transaction we're looking at or the type of experience we're having so far. Then if you keep them engaged and keep them on site, the user experience is okay. They're going to go and have a look at the product, let's call it. They're going to browse around. Now, what they're going to want to see is as much information, as much perspective, as much touch and feel as they can possibly get without obviously having to touch and feel. Okay. So that is a really important thing, and a really big disconnect between in-person and online is touch and feel, perspective, shape, size, weight, experience. right? Envisaging how they're going to be able to use it in their life. So a lesson here is, well, how can we emote that as much as possible through videos, through clean cut imagery, through multiple forms of imagery and videos, through showing other people and actually other demonstrations, such as someone's pet that might be the size or shape of theirs or color or whatever, right? We can't actually, foresee what that obviously is because everybody's got a different pet. But it's really, really important that we understand where people are at. We've got to meet them where they're at. Now, this is just from a visual perspective, right? Understanding the product. Then you have trust aspects. So that's, are people buying this? Are people in the store, in my stall here? Are people buying this stuff online, right? Are people commenting on it? Okay, so this is what we're talking about with like reviews and social proof. So obviously user-generated content, influencer type content, celebrity type content, publications. It's obviously around, especially around like reviews. How many reviews have you got, right? I don't want to feel like I'm in the store by myself or, I'm taking a risk on this. Is this a scam? Like this is all the sort of stuff that is going through people's minds. Whereas we just don't have that. We've got immediate trust because they're looking, touching and feeling products. They're seeing them, right? It's there for purchase. It's easy. They can just tap their phone or tap their card, right? So that it's a seamless experience if they want to go and buy something online. People, not by any fault of their own, just more inexperience, but business owners create a lot of friction for people just because they don't know otherwise, right? Poor imagery, lack of trust, poor design, right? It's like walking through a store that might be like zigzag and not even make sense, right? So all these things are so crucial. We have to assume that someone who comes to our website knows nothing about us, cares nothing about us, has zero trust, and we need to earn their trust and earn their dollars at the end of the day if they choose to purchase from us. And so you've worked hard to get people to site. Okay, there was something in that stimulus, let's call it an ad, the messaging, the image, whatever it may be that actually got them to click. Where they arrive is super crucial. That congruency is really important. Then you need to start to stack the trust, stack the credibility, stack the desire, the need, the want for them to go and purchase. Again, through the things I've spoken about, imagery, trust, through reviews, through UGC, just throwing as much as you possibly can. Reversing the risk is going to be really important, right? So that means, guarantees around if you don't like it, send it back, we'll give you money back, right? Free shipping thresholds, what comes down to the offer, right? Is buying 1 or 2 or 3 going to be more beneficial for them, right? There's a lot of factors, of course. But when we're in person versus when we're online, we have to consciously tick these boxes because everything mostly is done subconsciously in person, okay? And so we need to work as hard as we possibly can to build a relationship with that person the same way we do in person online. Now, it's not about having a big photo of yourself, right, there saying, I'm Will, and you should buy from me and trust me. But hey, it actually might help because they can see it's a personal behind the brand. That's why through email correspondence, it's great to have visuals, great to have the sign off personally and have a bit of fun with that because that definitely does help. Okay, contact details, mobile numbers, or 1-300 numbers, 1-800 numbers, whatever it might be. The amount of calls that we used to get at Karmic because our number was available and people just were like, I just want to check you're not a scam website. It was surprisingly high. Because again, we make the assumption as business owners that we are good people and we're trustworthy people and you can buy from us and it's all good, and that is true. But people don't know that. They don't trust anybody. They have either been scammed themselves or they know people who've been scammed. And so they're very, very wary. Their radars are up. And so we need to create an environment on a website that is congruent and conducive to easy transactions, right? Not ticking their, or rather crossing their subconscious boxes to say that we're untrustworthy and we shouldn't purchase from this brand. The final piece is ease of transaction. If it's hard, if you can't see a button here, right? If you have to fill out all this stuff multiple times, if things are not easy and people can't do things honestly on the first try, you will lose a lot of people. Like tapping the card, like tapping the phone, on a little square, right? In person. We have to make it incredibly easy for people to purchase. Okay, incredibly incentivizing. So look, I just wanted to highlight that because it's not articulated as much as I would like to see it articulated, right? People ask me the question all the time. They talk about it all the time. I make so many sales in person. I can't make any sales online. This is the thing that we need to talk about. This is the differences that we actually need to speak about. And you need to think and act really, really, really long and hard about your online user experience and compare that to your offline, in-person experience. The only second thing I'll say about this, right, in terms of UX and all the trust factors I've just mentioned, is the more that you can push people from offline to online, the better. So in person, build your database. Make sure you're getting people's email addresses, phone numbers, and you can push them online to push them to your site because they know you, they like you, they trust you, they've seen you, they know you're legit. And so if you can push them over there, and communicate with them, you'll make way more sales as well. And it will give, Meta, for example, more intelligence to say, well, what sort of person am I going after? Because it will be able to match, email addresses and phone numbers to Meta profiles, Facebook profiles, and have a way faster chance of being able to get the online side going to where you need it to get to, right? Because most people, again, who I talk to, like, yeah, I love the market, that's cool, but I don't want to be doing it every single weekend. It takes away from my family. It's so much time, it's so much stock, it's so much XYZ, right? I want everything to be pushed online. And so this is the best way that we've done it dozens of times with clients, is say, stop doing this over here. You need to be doing this over here with the online. And this is how we go ahead and do it. So look, I hope this was valuable for you. If it was, love a like, love a subscribe. You can click on the link below if you want to find out how we help e-commerce businesses in more depth. But other than that, thanks for being here, watching till the end, and I'll catch you in the next one.